Hello everyone. In today's class, I'll be talking or sharing some of the knowledge on quality parameters of water, which is one of the subtopic, and the main topic is waste water supply and treatment engineering. So, in the quality parameters of water, the main three characteristics is determined. One is physical characteristics, chemical and biological. I'll talk about the physical characteristics. So, physical characteristics is nothing but which indicates the physical quality of water and can be sensed by any of our senses. So, and that first one is suspended solids, turbidity, and then color, taste, and odor, temperature. These are the physical characteristics. And talking about the solids, solids can be either organic or inorganic matter. So it is example is like clay, silt, etc. It is measured by graviometric technique and to determine total dissolved solids, suspended solids, volatile solids. There are various other techniques. So many of the times it's not used. So what is solids? Solids is nothing but total solid is equal to suspended solids plus dissolved solids. And next characteristic is turbidity. So in the turbidity, it's a measure of absorption or scattering of light by the suspended material present in the water is known as turbidity. So maximum amount of turbidity is found in rivers. So there are various techniques: turbidity rod method, Jackson turbidimeter, Bailey's turbidimeter, and nephelometer. So in turbidity rod method, it is one of the field method. The remainings are lab test. One the turbidity rod method, what they'll do is they'll what they'll do is by using this measured in standard silica scale, they'll keep the scale inside the water, and the depth is calculated and calibrated with the standard water. This is the, as I've told you, this is the field method, and the units are parts per million. Next is Jackson turbidimeter. Blue cobalt scale is used, and in Bailey's turbidimeter and nephelometer, what they'll do is they'll in this method, in the nephelometer method, formazine polymer is added. If it is mixed in 1 liter of distilled water, then turbidity produced is called as 1 NTU. That is what it is expressed in 1 NTU. I'll repeat this. Formazine polymer is added and it is mixed in 1 liter of distilled water, then turbidity produced, whatever the turbidity produced, is measured as 1 NTU. So this is about the turbidity. So color, when I talk about the color, so color is measured by using color matching technique. So color is used to measured by using color matching technique. It is usually measured on platinum cobalt scale in terms of TCU. So what is this 1 TCU? The TCU is nothing but true color unit. So true color unit is equivalent to the color produced by 1 milligram per liter platinum in the form of chloroplatinate ion. So this measurement is also called as Hazen unit. They're going to use a Nestle's tube and tintometer. So by using this color matching technique, that is what they will ask you is what is 1 TCU true color unit, and they'll ask you this is equivalent to the color produced by 1 milligram per liter platinum in the form of chloroplatinate ion, and it is measured on the platinum cobalt scale in terms of TCU. Next one is the taste and odor. So taste and odor. So this taste and odor is controlled by aeration process. By the aeration process, you can control the excess taste and odor of the water, physical characteristics of the water. So next I'll talk about the temperature. So temperature, as temperature increases, decomposition rate also increases. These are the 5 physical parameters of water, and And this, they are going to ask you the problems on in physical parameters. They'll ask you the problem. So problem, I've solved it here. So what is that problem is? So in the taste and odor, they'll ask you to calculate the threshold odor number of a water sample of 20 ml diluted to standard 100 ml mixture in which the odor is barely detectable. Is to calculate the threshold odor number, volume of diluted sample divided by volume of water sample. So what is a diluted sample is? So the 100 ml is a diluted sample, and with the water sample is 20. So 5 is the threshold odor number. So this is the physical characteristics. Now I'll talk about the chemical parameters or chemical parameters. The first one is solids. So as like in physical characteristics, here also the solids is nothing but the dissolved solids. So dissolved solids can be determined approximately by measuring electrical conductivity of water using the Dionic tester. So which is not as so important. Next thing is hardness. So what is this hardness? Hardness is also called in terms of CaCO3, calcium carbonate. So it is caused by the presence of calcium and magnesium, Ca and Mg. So the hardness is measured by using a soap solution test. So there are two types of hardness. One is temporary hardness and permanent hardness. What is this temporary hardness? Is nothing but bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. Temporary hardness can be removed easily by adding lime. And permanent hardness. So permanent hardness is caused by sulfates, chlorides and nitrates of calcium and magnesium. So there are two methods to remove this permanent hardness. So one is ion exchange process and zeolite process are the two methods which are used to determine or which are used to remove the permanent hardness. So in the ion exchange treatment, the anions, cations are going to exchange in the water, the hardness present in the water. So zero hardness of water is achieved by ion exchange treatment. So this hardness is caused due to the presence of clay and silt particles. Presence of hardness in excess than permissible limit causes increases laundry expenses. So this is called as hardness. So many times I've asked you about the zero hardness of water is achieved by ion exchange treatment, and they've asked the problem on this. The Ca2 plus concentration and Mg2 plus concentration of a water sample are 160 and 40 milligram per liter as their ions respectively. The total hardness of water sample in terms of CaCO3 in milligram per liter. So to determine the total hardness, so this is the formula Mg2 plus into equivalent weight of CaCO3 divided by equivalent weight of Mg2 plus Ca2 plus into equivalent weight of CaCO3 divided by equivalent weight of Ca2 plus. So Mg2 plus is 40, they've given here, and equivalent weight of CaCO3 and equivalent weight of Mg2 plus and equivalent weight of Ca2 plus, you remember, because it is a bit lengthier procedure to calculate the equivalent weight of CaCO3, Mg2 plus and Ca2 plus. So equivalent weight of CaCO3 is 50, the constant value. Equivalent weight of Mg2 plus is 12. So Ca2 plus value they have given here 160 into 50. Equivalent weight of Ca2 plus is 20. So when I calculate here, I get the total hardness as 567 milligram per liter. So nitrogen. So nitrogen fluoride, chloride content, alkalinity, pH. So these are also the chemical characteristics of the water. And if I talk about the nitrogen, if the limit exceeded, then it leads to that those type of water leads to blue baby diseases, which is also called as methanoglobania in children, which is caused due to the nitrates. Suppose in the water, if nitrates content is more, which leads to the blue baby diseases. Uh, Nitrogen, as I told you, this is the main question which is asked many times. But when I talk about the nitrogen content, so it is a minor constituent of water. So presence of nitrogen in water indicates its pollution due to organic matter. So there are four types of nitrogen: free nitrogen, organic ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. So free nitrogen, it indicates recent pollution due to organic water. So organic ammonia, it signifies presence of complex organic matter in water. So nitrite, presence of nitrite in water is highly dangerous as it indicates a partial decomposition of organic matter. So presence of nitrate is not harmful, but due to that, blue baby diseases is caused. And next one is fluoride. So in the fluoride, the limit is, so it is up to 1 milligram per liter. If it is more than 1.5 milligram per liter, which causes discoloration of teeth, and if it's too less than 1, so cavities in teeth, which is due to less in calcium content. So excess fluoride in drinking water causes mottling of teeth and embrittlement of bones, which is called as dental fluorosis, which is all caused due to the more than 1.5 milligram per liter. And next one is chloride content. So presence of chloride in water in excess indicates its pollution either due to sewage or due to industrial waste. It gives bad taste in water. It causes hypertension, affects hearts and kidneys. So percentage of chlorine in fresh bleaching powder and fresh water, drinking water should be about 30 to 35. And the pH, talking about this pH. So pH, so suppose in this pH, there are three types: acidic, neutral, and basic. If pH is 7, it's called as neutral. If pH is less than 7, it is called as acidic. If pH is more than 7, it is called as a basic. So the product of H plus and OH minus ions in a strong alkali is 10 power minus 14. And so the most common source of this acidity in water is due to the carbon dioxide. The acceptance level for drinking water is 6.5 to 8.5. That is, the pH of drinking water should be around 6.5 to 8.5. As we have learned this formula, there is a derivation for this pH plus POH is equal to 14. And this pH can be determined by using potentiometer or pH meter. This is about the chemical characteristics. So next one is the biological water quality parameter. So organic matter in water may be either biodegradable or non-biodegradable. So biodegradable organic matter is that which can be decomposed by action of microorganism either in the presence or absence of oxygen. So if the decomposition takes place in the presence of oxygen, then it is termed as aerobic decomposition, which is carried by aerobic microorganism. So end product of this aerobic decomposition includes carbonate, nitrates, and sulfates. If this decomposition takes place in the absence of oxygen, then it is known as anaerobic decomposition, which is carried out by anaerobic microorganism, and which it includes acids, alcohol, and gases. The anaerobic decomposition includes acids, alcohol, and gases. So this anaerobic microorganisms utilizes molecular bond of oxygen, which is both time and energy consumption process. So hence rate of anaerobic decomposition is 3 times more than that of aerobic decomposition. So the most important type of microorganism present in water which are capable of carrying diseases is termed as pathogens. So this testing and counting of pathogen is difficult, and tests involved are comparatively costly and time taken. Hence, instead of testing the pathogen, it is good to test the coliform, which themselves are harmless. But if coliform is present in the water, then it indicates the presence of pathogens also. So it is economical and it is easier to test the coliform bacteria. So coliform bacteria like E. coli and B. coli are present. So pathogens are like virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, which causes these diseases. Virus, hepatitis B, bacteria, typhoid, fungi, valley, protozoa, anaerobic dysentery, coliforms E. coli, B. coli, and the tests which are done to conduct this coliform bacteria are membrane filter technique, MPN, and coliform index test are the tests which are determined to calculate the coliform bacteria. So whichever I've written it here is important for the point of exam point of view. So the ideal pathogenic indicator is Escherichia coli. So the minimum dissolved oxygen for the aquatic life is 4. So microbial quality of treated piped water supply is monitored by coliform MPN test. MPN is one of the tests conducted to determine the coliform bacteria. So water quality plan for domestic use of water is coliform group of organisms. So this I have told you threshold older number in the physical parameters of water. So iron, hardness, alkalinity, chemical oxygen demand, dissolved oxygen, chloride, these chemical characteristics, um, that these are the tests. There are some tests done to determine this iron, hardness, alkalinity, and so on. So the titrant used and the indicator used are asked for many times. So I'm discussing only those important things. So iron, potassium thiocyanate, titrant is not used like important. Hardness, erythrome black tea indicator, EDTA, ethyl diamine tetraacetic acid, phenolphthalein, methyl orange. These are the indicators and titrant correspondingly. So in the chemical hardness, many times I've asked you this problem. The alkalinity and hardness of the water sample are 250 and 350 as CaCO3. The water has, see, carbonate hardness is equals to 250 milligram per liter. Carbonate hardness is nothing but the alkalinity. Whatever the value given in the alkalinity is the carbonate hardness, and non-carbonate hardness as 350 minus 250 is 100 milligram per liter. And these are the acceptance level. So fluoride 1.5 milligram per liter, arsenic 0.01 ppm, chloride is 250 to 1000, total dissolved solids is 500 milligram per liter, turbidity is 5 to 10, total hardness is 200 ppm. So these are the acceptance and permissible limits for the metals. So these are like many times I've asked you also this question. So this completes the quality parameters of water. So far, what I've discussed is only for the exam point of view. Deeply, I've never discussed it. So thank you once you go through it. And in the next class, I'll be discussing you about the problems which are asked on these quality parameters of water. So thank you.